Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tisa, and you are here for the intuitive tarot reading for Miss Fallon and see what's in the future for her, Simon, and even a little bit of Porsha. Just so you guys know, I do intuitive tarot reading. I do have a live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. where I give free mini readings to my subscribers. You can ask a question. And also, I do monthly tarot starting in July. I usually have them on my Patreon, but starting in July, I will have all signs for Cancer season, starting with my Cancer birthdays, and moving into mid-season, and of course in the month. However, you guys didn't come here. You came to see what's going on with Fallon. So what is this going to cover, right? You know with tarot, you can't really ask a yes or no question, but you can ask. You can ask kind of open-ended questions, right? So what are some of the questions you guys asked me when you DM me? What's going on with Fallon? Is she under an NDA? She did say her heart was still open to her husband. Is she thinking about getting back with Simon? Does Simon want to get back with her? And what is going on between Porsha and Fallon? How does Porsha and Fallon feel about each other truly? And how does Simon truly feel about Fallon? And what's in the future for Miss Fallon? I know she said that she has that beautiful skincare line coming out to match her beautiful skin, but what else is in the future for Miss Fallon? She mentioned that she is interested in finding her white knight, and she said she's done with wealthy men, but let's see if that's true. Let's see if that's true for our favorite Taurus of the moment, Miss Fallon. All right, so also you guys, did I mention Miss Fallon, did I mention that I'm going to kick off making it available to everybody in July? Well, actually for Cancer season, I'm going to make all my Cancer season videos public. There's going to be readings for each sign. There's going to be a mid-month, and we are also going to have, right? We're also going to have, ooh, look at this. This is really unusual. This is really unusual for a Taurus to be so open with cards. Okay, you guys, I think we have enough cards to last us a lifetime. So funny, Fallon was pretty silent in her video, but it seems like the cards want to do the talking. Isn't that just like a Taurus? Okay, you guys, let's see what is going on. We see the demise of the relationship. And we also see what's in the future for Miss Fallon. But let's see about what's the first one, right? How is Fallon truly feeling, right? How is Fallon truly feeling? The way Fallon's truly feeling is the 9 of Wands. Now, why is the 9 of Wands perfect for the way Fallon is feeling? When you look at the 9 of Wands, it literally is someone that keeps trying to actually have a breakthrough. And at first, it's something that they want to do, but you know how it is with Taurus. They get this single-minded focus, right? The thing is with the 9 of Wands, you cannot break through this. And it's left her feeling battered and broken and bruised. And every single time she feels like she wants to walk away, she would look through these little gates. She would see exactly what she wanted or the promise of what she wanted, and she would try again. This, when she looked through, was the Gemini Simon playing tricks on her, leading her to believe that she was going to get what she wanted and then snatching it away. This is evidence that just like what he did in January when he put the divorce on the table, pulled it back, put it on the table again. The thing is with the 9 of Wands, when you're leaving the end of a relationship, it also has a duplicitous meaning. Sometimes it can mean that you're trying and you see what's going on. But when you combine that with, when you combine that with the Fool, what is the Fool? The Fool is when it can mean 2 things also. All tarot cards mean at least 7 things at all times. You have to read them together. The Fool is either the beginning or the end of a journey. We know it is the beginning of a journey because Fallon has shared with her that her marriage is over. When you combine the Fool card with the Nine of Wands, what makes the Fool card, this is blessed major arcana, what makes the Fool card so beautiful? What makes it such great energy? Because the Fool, if you look, is sitting there on the edge of the cliff. The dog symbolizes the friendship and people by it, and the emotions that once had you drowning are now cresting up gloriously behind you. You're about to walk off that cliff, but you don't care. You have everything you need in your hands to bloom. And you know why the Fool doesn't care? Because on this journey, the Fool does not fall. The Fool glides down almost like he's flying. But what makes the Fool fly? I'll tell you, right? That light emotional baggage. This lets you know, because the Fool needs that light emotional baggage. That is the secret of this thing. It lets you know that all the baggage that Fallon was holding, all the baggage and this need to please and this want to please Simon with all her heart and be a good wife, be a good mother, and do everything that was necessary to hold the family together. That's what was being dangled in front of her. She kept hitting. But now the Nine of Wands changes its meaning. And now these wands that once were a barrier now stand behind her. They stood behind her and they give her strength. Literally, Fallon decided to take her last stand, to make her last try, to try one last time to give that Taurus go to get what you want. You guys, this is saying what that interview was really about. It was really her laying everything out on the table. Good, bad, and indifferent. Now, we know a Taurus is never going to be messy. A Taurus is never going to be that person in the middle of the street cursing somebody out. I know you guys are saying, have you seen Quad on Married to Medicine? But I swear, Quad has some fire or some deep water in there, because true earth signs are not going to be there cursing everyone out, making a fool of themselves on TV. However, in her very elegant, understated way, she laid it all out. I love my husband. I want him to be happy. I don't blame. Nobody has as much power. Porsha doesn't have that much power. Nobody is anything. If she's happy, then I will let it go. She literally laid everything out and she put it on the table. So what is next for her? That Four of Sword energy. The Four of Sword energy. What is that? Resting the way an air sign rests. Now listen, this is going to be a bit of a challenge for Fallon at first. Do you know why? Because water is much like air. Air is much like water when it comes to rest. It can't stay still or become stagnant. It becomes toxic, not just to itself, but to everyone around it. When you tell an earth sign like Fallon to rest, they move. They literally like freeze, right? They freeze like statues. When you tell an air or water sign to rest, all that means is it flows into the other areas. Think about when you stop the wind, right? Say the wind is blowing through your house. How do you stop the wind? How do you stop air? You can't. Air is too powerful, but you can shut a window. All that does is the wind didn't stop blowing. It just redirected someplace else because it couldn't go through the window. This is literally the cue of Fallon taking all this energy that she had been putting in this relationship, all the energy, and tapping into that full energy where you now have that light baggage because you've taken your last stand. You've taken your last stand and you see there's nothing there. It takes a while for a Taurus to change their habits, but once they do, they never look back. So now Fallon has that light baggage. That interview was a release for her, and now she can rest the way an air sign rests. Her energy can flow into other endeavors. She's bringing her creativity. The sun is shining. She is ready to go. These other endeavors are something that she's going to pour all this energy that she's putting into the relationship, and she's now going to put that into getting her coin, like a good earth sign does. Like a good earth sign does. Now we have to actually think, right? There is a little bit where we see that what can speed this up. Oddly enough, she is in this full energy. It is saying she has a rest, but it's saying that Fallon also has the wheel of fortune. There is something still tying her to the current situation. Even though mentally and emotionally she is ready to release, there's something still tying her to that emotion. And she knows what it is, right? She's in that Two of Swords energy. The Two of Swords energy is when there is a problem and there is a solution. However, you are bound up in your anxiety. You know you need to drop one of the swords in order to move forward, but you don't want to drop the problem. Fallon doesn't want to drop the solution and be stuck with the problem. Yet and still she feels anxiety because she feels these tides rising up behind her. There is a lot of anxiousness where she's like, yo, you got to move, you got to move, you got to move. This isn't a juxtaposition to her feeling like she needs to rest, but she doesn't realize what is the problem, right? What is the problem? She feels that if she lets these tides rise, it's going to suck her out into depression, the depression she just climbed out of. You guys, Fallon did not say it, but the cards really do suggest that she just left a very, very, very depressive time. Don't let a Taurus's sweet, light-hearted smile fool you. They are just as sensitive as Cancer. She's left a very emotionally horrible time that literally left her battered and bruised, and there is a problem she needs to drop so she can lift that veil of anxiety and move forward to her future. And oh, what a bright future it is. So what is she holding on to? What is the problem that she refuses to see? Listen, Fallon's a Taurus and she's not stupid. She knows that she needs to figure this out quickly to release, because one thing about the Wheel of Fortune, when you're in the stream of creation, everything comes beautifully. However, when you hold on to things that no longer serve you, when you hold on to things that no longer serve you, you go underneath the Wheel of Fortune. You always want to be on top, on the sides, or in front. Fallon feels like she's falling underneath the Wheel of Fortune, and this is pulling her out into the sides of depression. She needs to let go, but she hasn't figured out what the exact problem is for her to let go. Where are the clues to that? It lies in the Hierophant. Listen, Fallon's actual problem is, and this literally, when you take the take it in conjunction with the Nine of Swords, the Fool, the Nine of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Fool, it says that the problem that Fallon refuses to see, and what she's holding on to that's starting the Wheel of Fortune turning on her, slowly making things more and more difficult in her life, is that Hierophant energy. Listen, Fallon's been in a situation where she thinks that she's been following her instinct, but she's actually been letting the logical, the rational, and the emotional arguments of another person, maybe other people, allow to seep into her brain. And when she thinks she acts out of instinct, right, her own inner instinct, it seems to have blown up in her face in the past. This is literally a card that Fallon has learned to doubt herself, and she's going through a crisis of self-confidence, right? Because she feels that her instincts have failed her over and over and over. She actually blames her instincts for getting her in this situation where she feels like she was publicly humiliated or publicly mocked. The thing that Fallon, like most Tauruses are, right? Everybody says Tauruses are stubborn, but Tauruses are not stubborn. They're just right 90% of the time. Listen, I don't make the rules. This is just the way they are. The thing is, when you're right 90% of the time, think about if someone said, listen, you can win the lottery 90% of the time. Would you listen to just somebody that comes in saying, no, don't play those numbers, play this numbers? You would tell them to shut up. I got this 90% of the time. Please stop talking so I can do what I do. This is why Tauruses become stubborn, because they're right 90% of the time. However, when Tauruses step into that 10% where they are off, they step into the 10%. Fallon's going through the thing where she literally felt like her instincts were off 90% of the time, so she doesn't trust her own instincts. This is leaving clues that Fallon was actually in an emotionally abusive relationship that did not let her lead her to shine, that literally caused her to doubt herself from these rational whispers in the air, from the emotional whispers in the air. We see two people duplicitous with signals to Gemini, which lets us know that there was a Gemini whispering in her ear, taking her self-confidence. We do know that Simon is a Gemini. So how can she regain this? How she can regain this and literally let go of these thoughts that have been planted in her head that she thinks are her own thoughts, and restore her faith and her own confidence so that she may drop the problem and move forward into the solution, right? Well, for one, she already took her last stand, so that's definitely a great thing. But the one thing that Fallon needs to realize is this. A lot of times when, especially earth signs, when they think that they're listening to their instincts, they need to be very, very careful, because when they go through incredibly hurtful things, you think you're listening to your instinct, but your instinct is an earth sign. It's that first thought, right? Somebody walks in a room. I don't like them. Everybody's like, what is wrong with you? Earth sign, Taurus, calm down. Why are you acting like this? But something in your heart tells you, I don't like them. There's something about their character that just doesn't mesh well. But then the rational thought enters in. What's wrong with me? Why am I always like this? This is why I don't have any friends now. They didn't do anything to you. Give them a chance. And then the emotional comes in, because that's the thing about a Taurus nobody will tell you. Tauruses are just as sensitive as Cancers, I think more. So that stubbornness, that my way or the highway, is really protecting a big softie, right? You're made out of warm caramel in the center, but you will put that hard outer shell to protect it as much as you can. Almost like the way Scorpios do, right? So then the Taurus, right? Fallon, she listened to the emotional whispers, right? No, but if that was me, I would want somebody to be more patient. I know sometimes I can be like this, out of this, that, and the third. Her first thought is no, right? Her first thought is no. Just like her first thought, and this is actually dealing, right? This is actually dealing with a woman coming into her garden with the 9 of Pentacles. This is saying clues that when it came to a woman, her first instinct was to not trust them at all. There was something in her soul that said, don't trust this person. But then you had that duplicitous whispers in the air. You had that trickster of a Gemini whisper in your ear. What's wrong with you? Why don't you calm down? Don't be so insecure. This is a spiritual test. So even though your heart of hearts told you that something didn't sit right in your garden, you allowed somebody to come into your world. And we think we know who that person is. She did allow Porsha into her life. The key to this, to breaking this cycle, is to put the hand up, which she has started to do. And we see that in the 9 of Wands, that duplicative meaning, where she is now standing. She is now standing, and she is in that 4 of Swords and the Fool, to put that hand up and say, shut that F up. I am no longer listening to these duplicitous Gemini whispering, and the ones that have been implanted in my head. She needs to do the work to take them out, because it doesn't matter if the Gemini is not in your ear whispering, or if these duplicative thoughts that you've now internalized as your own are not on your shoulders whispering. All that matters is that this is a soundtrack in her mind right now, and a soundtrack that needs to be broken. However, let's not worry about Miss Fallon, right? She does have that 7 of Pentacles. What is the 7 of Pentacles? For Taurus, this is blessed energy. Listen, Tauruses, if anything, are very, very self-aware. She sees more than we do where she's at. And she is doing the work right now. This is beautiful work for a Taurus to do, because is it easy to deprogram yourself? No. Is it easy to heal from these wounds where you kept hitting your head against a brick wall? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is it easy to remove yourself from the Wheel of Fortune? Yes, in the way of as soon as you let go. However, we all know the devil's in the details. Can you let go? So the 7 of Pentacles is actually a blessed thing. It's saying that Fallon knows there's a lot of work ahead of her, but she is literally, like every good Taurus, being diligent and persevering and pushing forward. What does that mean? She is pulling the weeds out of her hopes and her dreams and her ambitions and her happiness and her hobbies and everything she put to the side. Everything she put to the side so that she could fight this battle that she now has realized that she's lost. She's coming to peace, but she's pulling the weeds out and she's watering it with her emotional energy. You guys, keep an eye on Fallon. She is literally becoming more into herself, becoming more aware. That Taurus self-confidence, that Taurus charm, that Taurus faith in your own instincts, and knowing that you are moving into your phase of righteousness. She is literally gearing up and planting seeds. You guys, this year, be ready to see Fallon bloom like a rose. But she realized it's going to be work, and she realized it's going to be slow, and it's going to take her need to persevere and be diligent. Lucky for us, we are talking about a Taurus, so that's no problem. Now, you guys, listen, that's great that we know that Fallon is going to land on her feet, but like I said, it is going to be a slow process because she needs to deprogram her mind so she can truly listen to her instincts, what she wants. But listen, how, right? How is Porsha and Simon reacting to this, right? How are they reacting to this? Now, this is something very, very, very interesting. We see the Ace of Cups. What does that tell you? They're very happy from what they see from the outside. This is the internal. Fallon realizing from the outside, Porsha and Simon see the Wheel of Fortune. They see the Two of Swords, right? They see that Hierophant energy where she is struggling to trust her own instinct. This is what they see, and it fills them with great happiness. They believe that they've broken this woman. They are giddy with joy that they think that she's struggling, that she's bound up by anxiety. They are giddy with joy. We know this from the Ace of Cups, where the cup's overflowing and they feel like it's heaven sent and everything is in their hands. They are giddy with joy. However, as that Seven of Pentacles gets watered and weeded, right? And Fallon's garden, the path that all Tauruses hold, all the work she puts in manifests and blooms abundantly. But more importantly, we see from her little friend that there is going to be unity. There is going to be harmony. She is going to be in peace, surrounded by finery, manifested, right? This is when everything will change. Oddly enough, Simon's going to start to feel like he is in the Ten of Sword energy. He, oddly enough, is going to start to feel like he was betrayed. He's going to start to feel like, because Fallon is doing good, that he, right? He is betrayed. He got the short end of the stick. Now listen, this is very, very odd to say the least. But when you look at the Nine of Wands, and when you look at the Two of Swords, and when you look at the Wheel of Fortune, why does he feel betrayed? Do you know that old saying that when you take away someone's privilege and when you take away somebody's entitlement, do you know that saying that it feels like oppression? Simon, we can tell by these Gemini whispers, right? We can tell by these Gemini whispers. Simon literally got off on torturing Fallon. He got off on, the cards are saying, he got off on the control. And now that he doesn't have that control, now that as we watch Fallon during the next few seasons, she is going to blossom into her own, and she is going to manifest abundance that Simon did not see. Simon left when she was surrounded by weeds on a plot that wouldn't grow. She is going to manifest abundance itself in that beautiful way that Tauruses can, right? Simon's going to feel betrayed. He is going to feel betrayed, and he is going to victimize himself and lay down in a pool of blood, victimizing himself. It's ironic, isn't it? But this is the way people think, right? He's going to victimize himself. Now, this is going to create a lot of issues between him and Porsha. How do we know that? Because we had the Ten of Wands. Now, if any of you guys, I did a reading for what's in the future for Porsha and Simon, but from the version of Porsha. This is actually really, really spot on with that first reading, but this is just clarifying it, right? Because Simon is going to feel betrayed almost, right? Betrayed because he feels entitled to make Fallon suffer. He feels entitled to see her do bad. He feels like it is his right, and he is doing everything. He did everything he could in the past to make sure that that happened, right? But now we have the Knight of Wands flowing through all of Fallon's houses, and she is no longer afraid. She is no longer afraid, and she wants to move forward. She wants to move forward. But that said, she's not a fire sign, you guys. She is an earth sign. The way she moves forward is through diligence, perseverance, one steady foot after the other. Again, those that found her interview boring would not understand this, but when it comes to earth sign energy, especially a Taurus energy, slow and steady always wins the race. So let's get to Porsha, right? Let's get to Simon and Porsha, because we know our girl Fallon is going to be all right. Blessed be, that is what she deserves, right? Again, Simon is going to feel narcissistic tendencies that he is prosecuted because Fallon is thriving without him. How does that affect Porsha? Well, this mirrors the Ten of Wands, what she got last time. Porsha is going to respond by carrying all the emotional burden. Because here's the thing, right? When someone likes to play mind games, when somebody likes to spit poison, it's not, people have a tendency to think that when somebody treats them bad, it's something they did in particular. 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. This is the way they treat everyone. They would treat somebody, a god in heaven, a demon in hell, and everything in between. They'll be treated the same way because that is their character. Just like people that treat people well, treat everybody well. And people that don't, treat nobody well. Listen, because he's going to be so upset that Fallon is prospering, he's going to turn his evil whispers, he's going to turn his little whispers into Porsha's ear, because now he's going to be making rational and he's going to be making emotional, both arguments, to let her know, no, this is reality. This is what you want. This is the type of woman you should want. This is the type of thing you should do. No, this will be good for you. No, this will test you. He's going to start whispering in her ear just like he whispered in Fallon's ear. How's Porsha going to respond? Well, listen, you guys know I think Porsha is an unevolved Cancer. But that said, she's a Cancer. And whether she was evolved or not, she's going to do what every Cancer does. She's going to go into the Ten of Wand energy. What is that Ten of Wand energy? That is when you are carrying everybody's emotional burden. It's where you decide to carry the emotional burden. Portia's going to decide to carry the emotional burden in her and Simon's relationship. What is that emotional burden? It's literally whenever somebody blames you for everything. Right? You say, how come you never talk? For example, how come you never talk to me? Because you call me too much. Okay, I'll call you less. How come you don't talk to me? Because you don't call enough. How come you don't text me? Because you text too much. Okay, I'll stop texting. Well, then now I'm not texting you because you don't text at all. It's always you. Simon is going to be saying to Porsha, you're the reason I'm upset. You're the reason I lie. You're the reason I cheat. You're the reason I treat you bad because of something you're doing. So what Porsha is going to do is she's going to put her head down and carry that burden, right? She's going to put her head down and carry that burden because she's going to hope that as long as she carries this burden because Simon can't put it on Fallon anymore. As long as she carries this burden that Simon is putting on her, she's strong, right? This is any Cancer trying to build a home. Now, we might think she's building a home for the wrong reasons, but never underestimate at the end of the day, Cancers do want to build a home. So what does she do? She puts her head down. She puts her head down and she thinks, I'm just going to put my head down. I'm going to carry my burdens, which is 5, and Simon's burdens too. And I'm just going to get it over here and then I'm going to lay it down. It's going to be a beautiful foundation and we're going to build a life together. The only thing about that as an unevolved Cancer, evolved Cancer's peep game, but an unevolved Cancer such as Taurus, such as Porsha, can't peep the game of the universe because they are unevolved. What is the game of the universe? You cannot carry someone else's burden. Our emotional burdens are our karmic lessons. They're not karma, but karma is not necessarily payback. Karma is giving you what you need in order to grow spiritually, right? What you need to grow. If you carry somebody else's burdens, they're never going to grow spiritually. The universe doesn't play like that. You can sit there and struggle and hurt yourself and do everything you can to carry somebody else's burdens. And when you lay that foundation, Porsha, the universe is going to laugh at Porsha, take those burdens and lay them right back at Simon's feet. Because if we see the games that Simon plays, he needs to evolve spiritually. He is almost 60 years old. The universe is like, I beg of you, when are you going to evolve spiritually? At this point, the universe is making his emotional burdens harder and harder and harder and more and more and more, right? More and more and more. But like any unevolved Cancer, she's going to put her head down and carry those burdens. The thing is, there's going to be something where the burdens start getting so heavy because the universe is going to try to force her to drop the burden so that Simon can pick us up. That these are going to fall down and they're going to trip her, and she's seriously going to hurt herself spiritually. Spiritually, emotionally, she is going to be hurt. There is also something to be said about when you are carrying that 10 of Wands energy, the way Porsha is. Porsha's putting her head down. And this is also putting her in the 5 of Wands energy. What is the 5 of Wands energy? Porsha very, very soon is going to start seeing a lot of discomfort, a lot of arguing, a lot of a manipulation in her relationship. It's going to feel like everybody can't be on the same page, no matter how much she tries to carry the burden and take full responsibility for the relationship. She's not going to be able to get him on the same page. But if we look at the 5 of Wands and with the 10 of Wands, we see the reason why she is not going to be able to get Simon on the same page is because she is not going to be on the same page with what she wants. Now follow me on this, right? We all know what somebody wants, right? Porsha desires a comfortable lifestyle. She desires a family. She's a Cancer, no matter how unevolved. She desires love. But see, listen, when you know what you desire, that is not knowing what you want, right? It's like saying, Tisa, do you want to be a billionaire? Absolutely. Am I willing to be a billionaire if my whole family has to go to jail? I mean, what day of the week is it? I'm joking. Would I do it if your whole family had to be in jail? Of course not. Because even though I want to be a billionaire, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice to get it. Part of knowing what you want is knowing what you're willing to sacrifice. It's knowing where your boundaries are. Because in life, there's always going to be a million options. Simon teaches that with dating. There's always going to be a million options, but you need to know where your boundaries lie. However, Porsha is going to keep moving her boundaries further and further toward herself, carrying emotional burdens. Why is she shrinking her boundaries? In an effort to make herself more palatable, more lovable, more worthy to Simon. This is saying that he is going to start getting in her ear and telling her things that she needs to change. Why she doesn't deserve respect. Why she doesn't deserve home every night. It's always going to be a reason, and she is going to get into that 5 of Wands energy where she shrinks her boundaries to make herself more lovable, where she shrinks her boundaries to make herself more lovable. However, we do see from the 10 of Wands and also the 5 of Wands, there is no relief in sight for this. Do you know why? This is going to be the constant miracle round that Porsha experiences while she is in her entirety of the relationship with Simon. If you guys don't believe me, go to the other tarot reading that I did a month ago, and it literally does outline this, but in even deeper energy, right? Because we keep Fallon out of it, so we go very, very deep. It's in my channels. Just go and take a look at it. But before you leave, let me finish this really quick, right? How do we know this is going to be a constant theme? This is going to be the way the relationship is until she decides to cut it off, because he's not going to stop, at least not in the near future, right? Because if, again, let's take it through. Every single time, Simon was so used, right? So used to mentally manipulating, according to the cards, manipulating and even abusing Fallon through making logical and reasonable arguments. Now, let me tell you something about the logical and reasonable arguments. On the surface, they are very easy to manipulate someone because they sound correct on the surface until you look deeper. What's an excellent example of that? I come over to your house And I look in your refrigerator and I'm like, yo, you need to go to the store and get more milk and more eggs, right? You open the refrigerator, you see you're running low on milk and you see you're running low on eggs. While on the surface, what I said is true, you do need to go to the store and get more milk and eggs. The reason I'm encouraging you to go right now to get milk and eggs is because I want you to pick me up a honey bun and a Mystic iced tea while you're at the store. Do you see how Simon's games play? On the surface, everything you're saying sounds true. However, the urgency to do it, just like he played those little trickery games with her joining Housewives. No, it's gonna help you grow spiritually. It's gonna do this. This was true. Objectively, but subjectively, it was not a good move. And had she been thinking about her needs and not his, he would have realized. Now, why is this important? Simon's used to putting Fallon in bad places, manipulating her, testing her, and making her carry the burden, right? Fallon has put up her last stand. She now feels free, and she is moving her energy away from that, right? And it's going to take a little time, right? But like every good Taurus, she's going to move toward it diligently. And when that happens, sooner than Simon would like to see, Fallon's cup is going to run over. Her garden is going to bloom. Follow me on this. However, with that 10 of swords, the more Simon feels that Fallon is successful, the more he's going to feel like a victim. And the more he's going to feel like fate stabbed him in the back because he's the only one that can have good things. He's the only one that can be happy. He's the only one that can flourish. He's going to actually, his entitlement and his privilege is going to make it feel like her success is his oppression. When that happens, he's going to take it out on Porsha, and she's going to move her boundaries and shrink herself more and more and more to make herself more lovable. How do we know that this is going to be a theme in the relationship? Well, Simon, I have bad news for you. If you think that this 9 of Pentacles was bad, just know that Fallon also has the Sun, and she also has the 6 of Wands, right? She has the 6 of Wands. The Sun is the most blessed card I can say you can get in Major Arcana. Let's look at it, right? Childlike, on the horse, riding to her future. This is her id, her ego, her superego, her heart, her soul, her mind, aligning to one thought, aligning to one purpose and moving toward that. But more importantly, there's the creativity, there's the passion, there's the opportunities growing, and most importantly, there's the Sun. It's the universe saying, what do you want? And you knowing with everything in your fiber, what you want, what you need, what you will fulfill you, all those things coming together, and you saying, I want that, I want that, and the universe putting wind underneath you and moving you toward it at alarming speed. This is saying that when Fallon gets on and finally, after planting these seeds and working diligently like every gold Taurus, she is going to move toward what she wants with alarming speed, and it is going to be glorious, right? We also see with that 6 of Wands that people, she is going to be put on a pedestal. She is going to be respected. She is going to be admired. People are going to give her flowers while she's still there. Whatever ventures she has, whether they are personal or financial, they are going to be amazing. But more importantly, we see from the horse, which represents our subconscious, right? And here's our subconscious here too. Her subconscious is going to be very pleased with herself because quiet is kept. One of the problems that she has been denying is she is very, very, very angry at herself. She's very, very angry at herself for letting Simon put her through this. And when I say Simon, I mean her love for Simon, her love for the dream, her love for the fantasy, her love for the plan, right? When this happens, it's going to be a great year for Fallon. Simon is going to keep feeling like the universe hates him and erupting with fury and jealousy. And he's going to take that fury and jealousy. Right now, we've seen, right, right now we see from the Four of Swords and also the Nine of Wands, we see right now that he's been taking it out currently on Miss Fallon. However, as her stars start to align and she literally steps into the success that not just she deserves, but it's too, we don't want to get into this. Maybe this is another reading, or maybe I will get into it, but it's also something, right? It's also something that he kept her from. It's also something that he kept her from. She's going to step into what is hers. And as every time she does, he's going to grow more and more resentful, more and more jealous, more and more envious. And he is going to take all that energy out on our dear friend Porsha, because he'll have no more access to Fallon. He'll have no more access to holding her down. He'll have no more access to siphoning off her beautiful, magical energy. She's going to pour it into herself and her family. And Portia's going to be the one that's going to have to take all of the abuse that he heaped on her. And it's going to be a very, very rageful thing, because like I said, he's very, very envious of anyone that has success outside of him, especially Fallon. But Fallon is on to great things, bigger and better things. Again, as you know, as she eats, Simon will become sick to his stomach, and Portia's going to be the one to bear that brunt. That's all. All Fallon has to do, and I think as a Taurus, she already realizes it, because we have the Knight of Wands saying there's that problem that she's afraid to look at, and that's something that she's holding on to, that she's scared to let go of, because for whatever reason, it feels like it's a part of her. What is that? We went through that already. It is the mental abuse, the self-doubt that Simon whispered into her ear, and it became a deafening roar. However, again, we know what the deal is. She is resting like an air sign, which is redirecting her energy. She is no longer scared. She's realized what the problem is, and she's no longer scared of trusting herself. She knows she has to do it. She knows she has to do it. She knows it's going to take a lot of diligence, right? It's going to take a lot of diligence, but when it happens, it is going to be glorious. It is going to be glorious. And I know that right now, Porsha and Simon feel absolutely gleeful. Absolutely gleeful, because last they checked, this is the Fallon they know. Nine of Wands, defeated, bruised, broken, but still hopeful, still trying. This is what made them feel so good. This is what made them feel so happy and emotionally content. But I'm here to tell you, that smile's about to turn upside down. Fallon is starting on that new chapter in her life. It will be glorious, and she's resting. She's no longer putting energy into trying to get anything from them. She's focusing on her happiness. Watch this space. Watch this space with the Ten of Swords. As Fallon stars rises, Simon is going to make himself the victim. Simon is going to get angry. Simon is going to erupt with rage. And who is going to be the brunt of that? Our dear Porsha Williams. Y'all, Simon, Porsha, thoughts and prayers. Fallon, congratulations on the next stage of your life. It does not look like you are looking back at all. We definitely see the Knight of Wands. We see the Sun. We see the Seven of Pentacles, saying that you are working on something new, something different, one that you will be admired, respected, placed on a pedestal. Remember, she said that she was waiting for her white knight, someone that loved as hard as she did, somebody that will put her on the pedestal. Y'all, we have it right here. We have that coming in. But you know what? Like she said, she's also that white knight. She's also that powerful person. She's also going to be pleased with herself and the moves that she makes. A lot of good things coming for Miss Fallon. It looks like Porsha did her the best favor by taking away this headache. You know, you guys, somebody FedEx Porsha some Tylenol, Advil, or ibuprofen, because she is going to need it. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this intuitive reading. Keep an eye on the situation. situation and let me know how close I got. I know from my last one with Porsha and Simon, I got surprisingly close. The cards are what they are now. And you guys, I say this to everyone, can the cards predict the future? Not really, but they do let you know that if you keep going in this energy, this is how the energy is going to manifest. Guys, we've seen no difference that Simon and ever is going to change anything from his energy manifestation. If you guys like this reading, I am on YouTube Live Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays about 11:30 a.m. I do try to do free readings for my subscribers. You get to ask me a question and I go in. You guys, check it out. Even if you just want to listen with your headphones, you know, your boss ain't talking about anything. I also do private readings, and more importantly, be on the lookout for Cancer season. I'm going to start making my Patreon readings. I do the intuitive readings for the whole month, all signs. I do a mid-month and I do an end-of-month too for each and every sign. Go on. The Patreon is going to be made public, or at least I'm going to share it with you guys on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. All right, you guys, in the comments, let me know what you think, and let me know if any of you guys are tarot readers and you've done your own readings on them, because I would love to compare notes. Again, the energy and messages come to people in different ways, and you guys know I love to compare notes. Okay, anyway, it was great seeing you guys. Congratulations, Fallon. Thoughts and prayers to Peach Juice and Simon. You're still not ish. Woo! Talk to y'all later. Bye.